So, Bailey, just as a reminder, how long do you have to wait before you can curse?
I think it was 30 seconds, but I know it's 2 minutes. But I'm not going to.
Half an hour.
You think
Yeah.
it was this, but you know it was that? Nice.
I'm going to be one of those witnesses in front of the judge. Yeah.
All right.
I got this.
3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with you then, Bailey. If you're on a podcast and it is highly suggested by the host that podcast be monetized, do you A, swear right away, B, at least wait a couple of minutes before you swear, or C, respect the fact that we might have family watching and not swear at all?
It's going to be C. The answer is always C.
Except I know you, and it's probably going to be B as we go tonight.
You got to respect everybody here.
He's respecting the family.
It's going to be A, Dan.
Fair enough. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Sidebar. Let's get this thing rolling. We've got Ashley, and we've got Bailey, and we've got Michael, and we've got me. So
me? Dan?
Yeah, me. No, my name is me.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
Sure.
That's
what I call myself.
By the way, where's Ellie? I've got a lot of questions coming back on the show. Like, hey, who's this cat? What's up with the cat merch? Like, who's Ellie?
Ellie is hiding behind me at the moment. She's sleeping. We'll try to wake her up at some point. But right now, so I can hit a couple
you just
of
have
buttons.
Freya.
Oh, there you go.
Cat cam.
The second official cat
Freya.
of Sidebar.
Hi, Freya. Good evening. I don't say well in the morning.
Always good.
It's afternoonish here. All right, so we're going to discuss a thing that happened in Judge Boyd's court, and we have the full video for that on the channel, and it's been trending. And once I'm done yapping, I'll put that in the chat so people can reference it if they like. But what I want to do to start us off is just play about 1 minute of the video, because if you listen to the audio, that's going to explain exactly what it is that we're going to talk about tonight. There was a lawyer and there was his client, and the lawyer recorded something. So let's hear what the lawyer recorded, shall we?
Let's go. Roll the tape.
I know, but that's what he said, and he's done this to me every time. Why do I have the same judges over and over and over? I don't know. But that's because we keep going to the same ones. He does it. He's going to
So what he can do Wednesday is
check it out. I've been in the court a million times, all right? And I knew I was going to do this. How did I know? Somebody told me. I know I'm going to sound crazy or whatever, but I know these things. So if I was going to do that, and I knew all this stuff was going to happen, I'm prepared for Wednesday. But something is going to happen that's going to change history, whether you bust these guys or there's dead bodies everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Dead bodies everywhere. So that's where all this drama begins. Long story short, that lawyer felt the need to turn his client into the police, and now the client is in custody awaiting trial. Who wants to start us off on this fun?
I think I want to kick us off here, because when I first listened to this hearing, the first question that was in my mind was, why is an attorney recording his client? So I'm going to pose this to my friends and colleagues here at Sidebar and to those watching and family. Hello, Kim, my stepmom. Like, let's just start with the premise of, is it okay to record your client? Now, we're nerds. We know it's legal to do it. This is one consent state. We know it's legal, but that was the first thing that came to my mind. If I was a jury listening to this case, the first question I would want to have cleared up was, hey, why is he recording his client?
Well, what was interesting was they had that lawyer take the stand because he's obviously not that guy's lawyer anymore, because he was actually representing him in a civil matter. It was a divorce matter, not the criminal matter. But he said that he doesn't normally record his clients, but he had a feeling.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what feeling means. Do any of you?
No.
He said only did it once or twice, and in this case, he, like you said, he had a feeling to do this.
I don't buy it.
Okay, Michael, go for it. Why don't you buy it?
I don't buy it. I think this guy records his clients all the time. Now, I'm not saying in and of itself that's illegal. It certainly isn't. We know it's not. But does he tell his clients that he does that? Does he tell his clients that they could be recorded? Obviously, obviously you've got attorney-client privilege, and I know that we go out of that bounds when you start when an attorney feels that there's a threat, an imminent threat to the community, or when he knows that there's the potential, a reasonable potential of a crime, whatever. But there wasn't that at this time. That became the issue after that, according to this attorney. But before that, this guy just happened to be recording. I don't know. Ethically speaking, and I know it's hard to talk ethics when we're talking lawyers, but ethically speaking, I have a real problem with it. And I know it's not against the law, but never mind that. The canons of ethics and all of that. I mean, I don't know if I would not want to go to this attorney. I would not want this attorney fighting for me. Because
go ahead, Michael.
Well, I just want to say I think this is a family court case, right? So civil mess. So we know, everybody here knows, and one day we'll go off on this tangent, I'm sure, but we all know how contentious family court cases can be. Absolutely. We know what people say in the confines of their offices. I can tell you this right now. Friends have told me that in family court cases, in attorneys' offices, a lot of crazy crap is said.
Yes.
And some of that crap, if other people heard it, would find it, let's just say, unsettling. And that stuff goes on all the time. And so if you take stuff that is a little bit out of context and you play it for other people, and you say, I felt threatened, well, of course they could feel threatened because look at what, but he's probably letting off steam, and this attorney didn't turn it in right away. He didn't just run down to the police station and go, oh my God, I felt scared, and escort this guy out of his office. This was days later. That's sort of the backstory, the lore behind all of this.
Yeah, and to piggyback off of Michael here, he told him to get out of his office, according to what someone said during the hearing. So he did tell him to get out. And then, so I think he did feel threatened. It's not like he ran to the police station, but he did throw the guy out of his office. So I think that's a start, but still. In my point of view, recording a client, me personally, I don't have any problem with people recording. People take notes that way, things of that nature. So in my point of view, it's not a big deal, but I see where you guys are coming from, that you would feel like your privacy is invaded. And where is that stuff backed up at would be my question. Can people access it easily? Would be my downfall to that. But yeah,
like how is it being protected? Like that?
Yeah. Like is the password
protected?
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Can somebody hack it? But other than that, I think it's fine.
Well, does he tell his clients that they could be recorded? And again, this isn't about law because we know it's a one-party consent state. Again, for ethics purposes, does he let his clients know? Because if he doesn't, like I said, I've got a real problem with that.
I think it would
Here's
be in
why-
the contract that they sign. Maybe they're just
Maybe.
in the disclosure. but
I
I'm
would
not
hope
sure.
so.
I don't have that information, so I cannot speculate on it.
Right. Not, like we would all be speculating on it. And that's why I wanted to kick off this conversation with raising that question. Because that's really the kind of what starts this whole thing off. And we know what the answer is. It's like, of course, he can record his client. He's not breaking the law. But what does everybody think about this? And what are, like the ethics around it? But in this conversation, a threat occurs, right? And that's where my ears perk up and my bias changes. Remember, I started listening to this like, who records their...
We're at the 10-minute mark. You made it. I told you it would be B, though.
I'm so sorry, Joan. I'm sorry, Grandma TCF. I'm so sorry. Who records their client? This needs to be answered. This needs to be figured out. And then we get to this phase where it's like, all right,
You should have elaborated more on why he was recording him. And I feel like we would be more at ease with.
I had a feeling.
Something.
I'm with Michael on like, this is almost too perfect. Like even the audio is perfect. The production is perfect. We could hear this clearly. I don't think this guy's just picking up his iPhone and recording this. And he said he did it on a whim, and I only did it one or two times.
I think he records everybody. I believe Michael. I think he records all of his clients. I don't think he wanted to come out and just say that.
However, I don't think this is when my opinion changed on this, which was I listened to it twice. The guy does make a clear threat. It's a clear and present threat, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, but what is he threatening exactly?
I actually just wanted to bring that up.
Go ahead.
Is there an actual threat there? I'm not convinced.
Me neither.
Guys, everyone.
I agree with Bailey here. I think there is an absolute threat. I mean, who would use a hyperbole like that? I mean, who would bring that up like that? That's very unusual, in my opinion.
Dan,
not that unusual.
I mean, Dan,
so
Dan
we have
and I.
Left and a right here.
Yeah. Have you ever been in family court? I mean,
no. It's not unusual at all.
This is pretty common stuff. That's I know to the outsiders and people that just listen to that audio, they go, but he doesn't even. He said there's going to be bodies. He doesn't say I'm going to go to the courthouse and kill 10 people. He doesn't. It's not a specific thing. It's hyperbole. It's just. It's words. It's not specific. It sounds bad.
It's not.
It sounds bad.
But but sounding bad is not in and of itself against the law.
I think it sounds worse than bad, Michael. But please, I'm glad we're having this sidebar.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're having this discussion because I think you guys are all surprised where I'm coming from because my opinion might be way different than what everyone else's is.
I am a little surprised actually.
I think it's really bad in my ears. Just like Bailey is saying. So I think we're on the left and right side here. On this issue.
As a guy who has unfortunately had to go through family court situations because I did have a first wife before I landed on the right wife.
And I bet you said all nice things to your attorney about your
ex-wife.
You
know it. And I know she said great things about me.
Rainbows and bunny rabbits jumping all in through the woods.
And the funny thing was in the end, our situation was not all that contentious. It had a couple little bumps going through until it was final, but it could have been a lot worse based on what I've seen. But things get said, emotions run high, and I will admit that him saying, history is going to be made. Either either you're going to get these guys or there's going to be dead bodies, is not artful.
No.
But I don't see how it rises to the level of imminent threat. There feels like there's, not to go political somehow, but it feels like there's almost like this 24 years later, this 9/11 hangover where, there's this just tiny like inkling of a threat, and all of a sudden it's like, it's a terroristic threat.
In a nutshell, it's kind of like when we were growing up, going through school, the shit we went through and the shit we got away with. It's like if we did that today, the cops get called, law enforcement gets like if there's a fight in the school hallway or something.
Right. I mean,
right. It's totally blown up because, wow, there's a crime here. So I understand where you guys are coming from.
Dan and I are old enough to remember that when we were in school, people got in fights. And maybe someone got suspended, but usually it's like detention and that was it. If somebody made a drawing of something that was kind of bad or something weird, it was art. Now it's like if you draw something bad, it's or something that's like the Grim Reaper, they send you to the school psychologist. It's 10 years of mental health examinations and all this. And I think it's the same thing here. It's like Dan points out, what would have been appropriate on 9/10/2001 and before suddenly is like you sound like a crazed lunatic in the eyes of some now. And I just think if you've ever been in a contentious situation, people say stuff, and where better to blow off steam in a sense than in your attorney's office, where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. And you have a reasonable expectation that what you say is not going to become public fodder, especially because he didn't say, I'm killing this person or I'm going to go to this place and do this. That's not there. It's a very general, as Dan said, not artful thing to say, but also not an uncommon thing to say. And now it's like, man, if you can't feel safe to say stuff to your attorney, I mean, where are we at?
Well, that's a very good question. And something worth noting as well was that he said he called the Bar Association hotline after he asked the client to leave the office. And the Bar Association hotline told him that he had a duty to report because that was a clear threat.
Well, he was advised.
So,
he wasn't told, but
yes. Told, advised, whatever. Their recommendation was he needed to call because they saw it as a clear threat. It makes me leery as to the quality of the bar in the state of Texas because, again,
by the way,
I don't see it.
Just not to be really, off in the weeds on this, but Dan, do we know that's what the Bar Association said, or is that only what he said the Bar Association said? Because I got objection hearsay.
The witness said
very good
he
point.
Called the bar. We don't know what they're talking about. He's saying is that he called them, but they're not talking about what they said. And he said, "Yeah, I guess it kind of. Yeah, Michael, you're kind of overruled, Michael. Overruled."
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I mean,
no,
we're
it's
sidebar.
it's a good point. It's a good point.
He
brings
could
up
be
all-
covering himself. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of where I was gonna go, but please, Michael.
I mean, he could be, but I just, again, I always have these questions, because, and how did he present it to them? Did he say exactly what was said, or did he sort of embellish what was said? Did he add words?
He provided the audio, if I'm not mistaken. He provided the audio to both the Texas Bar and his attorney. Both advised go to law enforcement. So
Right.
if to me, if one attorney advises me to do something, I mean, I'm going to take their advice 95% of the time. But if
I just hope he didn't
lawyers-
say to his attorney, I sure hope something gets done or else bodies are going to hit the floor.
But if I get told by two attorneys, I mean, you got to be a friggin' idiot. You know what I mean? All of us would be idiots if two attorneys told any of us to do something and then we did not follow their advice. I mean,
Yeah, it depends on what the two attorneys are telling us to do.
Yeah.
I thought of the worst case scenario. What if he actually, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here. So what if he
Please do.
actually carried out said act in the courtroom? Would that attorney be in trouble because he knew about it beforehand? Would be the question. Because he is protecting himself by reporting it to law enforcement, in my opinion.
yeah. That's kind of where I was going, Ashley, which was all right. This would be an entirely okay. So if we're talking about, from what I'm gathering from Dan and Michael, is this guy shouldn't have opened his mouth. Am I wrong on that? Is that kind of where you guys are at in
No.
that camp?
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
No.
So we're not taking camps. All right. So where I see it is he had to report it. It was a threat. He was advised, like I said, by the Texas board, his own attorney. But to go to your guys' argument about how this guy is basically covering his ass, this attorney, because if he's going to go down this route where he's going to have to justify why he's opening his mouth about things that are happening behind closed doors with his clients, and he recorded them, and he knows this is going to be evidence, like he has to make the claim that I'm breaking this exception of the attorney-client privilege. And so what does he do? He goes through the whole frickin' laundry list. He does 7 things. He calls the Texas bar. He calls his attorney. Both tell him to contact law enforcement. He locks the doors to the office of his office. He calls, of course, police department and pays for training, 2 types of training. One of them was active shooter training for all of his employees, and
gun
because
training.
it's Texas, we got to have shooter training too. So he even paid for shooter training, and the most technical thing he did was he withdrew from the case. It was so egregious. He thought this was such a threat that he formally withdraws from the case. I thought
Very
he did
the guy his money too.
Dude, this guy went to law school. I think he did everything perfect. I still just think it's a little freaking weird.
Yeah.
He recorded his client, but he did nothing wrong, and I think he did everything right to kind of wash his hands of this.
Well, he definitely played CYA. I'll give you that. He definitely
exactly.
Yeah.
But
exactly. Yes.
2 things real quick. Bailey, when you said that guy shouldn't have opened his mouth, were you referring to the lawyer? When you asked if I thought he shouldn't have opened his mouth?
When I asked.
At the beginning of the talk you just had. You said, are you guys in the camp where he shouldn't have opened his mouth?
Yeah.
I can't actually recall.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, just to be clear,
yeah,
I don't have a problem with the client opening his mouth. I do have a problem with the lawyer opening his mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I don't know about you, Michael, but I took it as him asking if we had a problem with the client opening his mouth.
Oh, no, I think you meant the lawyer.
No, I was referring, I thought you guys have an issue with the lawyer opening his mouth and spilling the beans.
Right.
No.
And I think personally, this guy records all of his clients, and he was only covering himself, like holding that.
Yeah.
He was holding that just as a contingency in case something amiss kind of happened. In my opinion.
You really think that? You really think he
I
found
think
himself
so.
in a situation where he has a recording.
Yeah.
And he has a choice at this point, which is,
correct.
I think I hear a threat, and I gotta do something about this. I don't know if anybody signs up to be a witness on a witness stand in a trial and take their client to court and have to deal with the Texas bar. I don't think any attorney. I think attorneys are not that bored.
I think no.
that they
I think
want to sign
I
up
think
for that.
I
There's
think
no
to
way.
answer your recording question, Bailey, I think it was.
Yeah.
I think he records each of his clients just in case there was any incident, or if the client came back saying, "I said this and you said that." I mean, that happens sometimes, so that's why I'm kind of thinking outside the box here. Maybe that's the case why he was recording him.
It kind
Oh,
of
I do think he records everybody. The production value was too high.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
I thought so
exactly.
too.
And it kind of creeped me out because I've seen an attorney in the last, I don't know, 10 years, and we had a 40-minute meeting, and it kind of creeped me out. I'm like, was he recording me? I mean, we didn't say anything, but I didn't make any threats in that meeting. I had just a legal dispute, and everything was kosher. But like Michael was saying earlier, there's an expectation. Like, I think this guy just needed to like vent. And he was kind of treating his attorney as kind of a therapist, and he was listening, and the attorney wasn't really speaking much, which was good, because attorneys know how to talk to their clients. And this guy just needed to get a lot off his chest. But where this client messed up was, I'm sorry, he did make a threat. If I don't get what what I want, on Wednesday, there's going to be dead bodies. I'm sorry. Somebody has to report that. And when I was doing research for this show, I was going through the comments of that episode that we're talking about. And somebody said, "What if he didn't say anything?" And Ashley was touching on this. This would be an incredibly different conversation. If he hadn't said anything, this attorney, and didn't speak up, the news would be all over this about why didn't he say anything?
Yeah, but I mean, you get into the what is you get into like if my aunt had gonads, she'd be my uncle. I mean, at that point, it's like, it's well,
He's right. Michael's
because
right.
yeah, it's too much. It's too much. What ifs? What if? What if? I mean. Yeah, what if an asteroid came down and hit everything? I mean, what difference does it make? He didn't. He didn't do that. And I mean, has this guy had a propensity toward violence? Has he? And even not that necessarily makes a difference, but at least you could almost justify it then. This guy is just in there in a family court case. Who knows? Who knows what his... I mean, I hate to go here, but I mean, if we're going to go down the what if road, what if his wife is crazy? And he's
that
just blowing off
possible.
steam,
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that there's ever been a crazy spouse,
And we're only seeing one side of that.
I do get that, but some people are reprimanded for less, like dead. I mean, it's just using the words dead body when you're talking to someone and saying that there will be dead bodies on Wednesday is quite specific in my ears. I know
He
you
didn't
also
say there would be
general.
dead bodies on Wednesday.
No, he did
I
not.
disagree. And this is a whole other discussion that
he said dead bodies everywhere. That's the quote I wrote down in my notes.
No, he didn't say on Wednesday, and
Well, he said on Wednesday. He said on
he didn't
Wednesday
say he would do it. He didn't
Right. I
say
mean,
how it was going to happen or when.
Maybe COVID would come back and there'd be dead bodies, or maybe there'd be a zombie apocalypse, or maybe. I mean, who knows what that means? That's not specific. If he said, "I will bring a gun to the court and there will be dead bodies. I will administer. I'm the angel of death. The time of purification is upon us." I mean, maybe that you could, but he's not saying that. That's the thing. To me, for a threat, it's got to be really specific. Like, if I say, "I hope you die," that's not a threat.
Nope.
That's a wish. That's a hope.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If I say, I will kill you, or I will make sure that you die tomorrow at 6:35 a.m., that's more of a threat. There's a specific time. I'm saying I will make sure that it happens. That's different. But just general, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying there. Dan, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I think this is a bigger discussion for perhaps another show, but I think we've become overly sensitive to words, and we place too much meaning on certain words. Because, to piggyback what you were saying, Michael, another one that popped into my head as you were talking would be the statement, "I want you dead."
Yes.
I don't know that that's necessarily a threat either.
It's not.
It's a desire.
It's not nice.
But it's not a threat. No, it's not. It's not nice.
Right.
But
it's rude.
But should
you're
it
an
land
ass.
somebody in jail?
Right. Exactly. And we have seen this. How many times have we seen this kind of thing in the old Judge Fleischer streams? I mean, we saw a terroristic threat, and the same kind of thing would come up where someone would say, "I want you dead," and Judge Fleischer would say, "Where's the threat?"
Yeah,
that's not. He's saying it's not nice, but where's the threat?
And he always shakes his head like, "Where's the?"
Yeah. Because he would read directly from the statute as well and say, this. There has to be the person has to A, feel threatened, and B, it has to be a clear threat. It has to, there has to be a specific nature to it.
Yep.
To bring clarification to the audience out there, this was a motion by the defense to suppress evidence, which was, I believe, the audio clip that we played.
Yes.
And to dismiss the entire case because of client privilege, right?
Right.
So it basically those motions go hand in hand. They go right together.
And Judge Boyd denied those motions.
Exactly, because the defense did what the defense has to do, and they gave a zealous argument for their client. And I kind of, I don't know.
This is one of the times, the rare times so far that we've had a disagreement here. But it's funny that the old guys on the panel here are we're just
in other words, we're not trying to on this channel. None of us are trained attorneys. None of us are trying to solve the case. This was a motion hearing from the defense. And Judge Boyd, I think, really did a great job of trying to keep the lawyers focused and on point and on the motion, right? And this is why we have juries. I think that's what she brought up. She's like, this is going to go to
a jury trial, and that's fine. I mean,
it's going to go to a bench trial or a jury trial. So we are not trying to solve the universe here today, folks. This is going to, and I see this guy going for a trial, because if I'm not mistaken, I'm making up a number, but I think it was like 232 hearings he's had in this court in his family dispute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what he says. I don't know if that's real, but that's what he said.
That's a lot. I mean, that would be.
I could understand him, and also he did sound incredibly manic. He sounded very paranoid.
I'll say this. If you ever had 232 hearings, which who knows if that's true or not, but if you even had 32 hearings, you would sound manic. You would sound crazy, because family court is no place for a man nor beast. And after 32 hearings, you would want dead bodies everywhere, whether it's yours or an asteroid or...
You would speak in that kind of tongue, and that's kind of the rub, right? That's where we're kind of figuring this out. But I guess a jury or a bench is going to figure this out.
So a couple of things from the chat that are worth mentioning and may refocus us, or maybe not. Grandma TCF pointed out that if he was going to tape, he should have also taped the conversation with the bar.
I agree with that.
That was kind of my point.
No.
Yeah. Why?
I mean, if you're going to document everything.
All right, Bailey, why is it that it's okay for him to tape his client but not tape a conversation that he had with the bar to further this whole claim that he has that this was the right path for him to take? Please explain.
So in Texas, it seems that it's a one consent state, correct? One party consent.
Yep.
He made a choice to record his client. Now, I don't know about you, Dan, or Michael, or Ashley, or anybody out there listening. I don't necessarily want to record my conversations with my attorney. I don't find that necessary. That's my choice about whether or not I record a conversation with the Texas bar. I don't want to record that. No, I don't need to record that. I don't need to. I don't need to explain why I'm innocent or why I believe I'm bringing a good argument here. That's not the job of a witness. He's a witness. Wait a minute. Is he a defendant? No, he's a witness. This guy is a witness. So he doesn't need to explain his actions. He doesn't need to record all of his actions.
He wasn't a witness at that point. He wasn't a witness at that point, though.
No.
So
he's a complainant.
He's a
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go around recording.
He took all this time to document things. He did all this stuff in his office, and he took all these steps. But the one step that he didn't take is this alleged call to the Texas bar. And why wouldn't he do that? It just doesn't, like, you go through all this trouble to do all this other stuff, but the kind of one thing that's, I wouldn't say essential to your case, but certainly a piece of the puzzle you don't do, like that's bewildering to me.
That's 9 steps of a 10-step journey is what that is.
Yeah.
So we have
Why
to
not
remember
take
the
the 10th
witness is
step?
not on trial here. He doesn't have to prove the case.
No, he doesn't. But I just,
The
if I'm
state
on the
does.
jury, I'm on the jury. Yeah, here's me. I'm a guy on the jury, and I'm sitting there going, yeah. I mean, he's telling me, but I called the Texas bar and I did this and I did this, and all this other evidence is here, but that's one piece of evidence that's missing, and I'm on the jury, and I go, I don't know. That kind of creates some reasonable doubt.
I see that point. Yes, definitely. But
Well,
I don't know what they're going to do with that.
I think I see where you're coming from more, Michael. Yeah, but I'm not on board yet. I'm like 1%, 2% on board with you. You're getting me a little bit.
Well, listen, he may not be the guy who's on trial. He may not be the defendant, but he's the guy who started it all.
Right.
That's true.
And that's the thing. When you're a juror,
I'm not convinced with how he started it. There's holes. It doesn't make sense. I don't think there was a clear threat.
I'm shocked. By the way, for everyone listening, we didn't have much preparation for this show. We don't talk about our angles of what we're coming into. So we're all finding this out live.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all finding this out live. We figure out like certain things in the beginning of the show, like, hey, we're going to hand off and that sort of thing. But I'm glad we're all kind of learning this live.
Well, it's interesting because you have these conceived notions about how people are going to think based on, things that they say and how we talk to each other. But it's, I'm not surprised that Dan feels the way he does. That was not surprising. I was surprised. Bailey was the most surprised. Ashley, I was like, I could see, but Bailey's was I was surprised by that.
Well, go ahead, Ash.
There's one point I want to make with this. Okay, so this happened before April 23rd of this year. So the Wednesday he was referring to was April 23rd of this year. Why is this being waited on until August? And when did this actually surface is my question, because the longer it's out, I feel like the more sketchy it is. So that's what I want to know. I need to probably do some research.
I think he didn't make bond because they try to reduce bond at the end.
He
of it.
didn't.
And
There's a video on the channel where he has his bond hearing and it's denied.
Yeah.
And that's linked. Okay. That's linked in the main video. So we have.
And I think we actually watched that here.
Yeah, we watched it get denied on the live show, and then I made a video of it.
That's correct. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. His mother came in. His father had died while he was in jail.
Yep.
Okay, I was trying to think of it timeline-wise. Like, does it sound sketchy timeline-wise? But I don't know if I can really make that connection there.
Well, I don't know about that necessarily, but I again, the whole thing is weird. I think this just speaks to a really much broader issue. I don't know. Now I'm concerned. Like, if I go to an attorney, is this, and I'm just thinking about in my lifetime, I've sought attorneys a few times. I've been to attorneys a few times for stuff. Partially I'm involved in, partially not. But, I've certainly said some things in those offices. Now do I have to walk on eggshells? I mean, is this one place where I have to walk on eggshells? Like, just like my doctor's office, what's next? I mean, that's,
Yeah,
I definitely have a little bit, this puts a little bit of a twinge of anxiety within me.
Well, according to him, it gave him anxiety too, and that's why he reported it. So that's why he did a full lockdown of his office, and that's how this all started. So I have no idea where this is going to go.
Yeah.
I just tried to pull up his case, and I wasn't able to get at the records because I was curious about timing, since you mentioned Ashley, but I can't find it real time. It's going to take deeper digging.
Yeah,
but
I think I'll try to dig deeper there.
I don't know, man. I think the attorney did the right thing. That it was the right thing to do, because
if he felt threatened, I think he did the right thing. But I think he blew it when he didn't record what he needed to record, though.
Go ahead.
No, please. Because I'm gonna go in a completely different direction.
I think he brought all of the evidence. Like I said, he calls the bar. He doesn't have to explain how his conversation went. I'm sure there's like a receipt or something. He's advised, or at least he testifies and says, "Hey, you need to report this to law enforcement." He calls an attorney. He locks the doors. He calls law enforcement. He pays for training. He withdraws from the case because he is trying to cover his freaking ass. I get it. He's trying to cover his ass because that's what he's been advised to do. And, oh yeah, some people could die if he didn't do this. All he's doing is, I'm reporting this, let it go to a trial, let an attorney do a motion to suppress and dismiss. I get it. It could look like harassment. Like, an attorney at any day could hear something ridiculous and be like, I'm so fucking pissed off I could fucking kill everybody, right? And my attorney can then just run to and report this, and, I get where you guys are coming from, but where this guy was coming from in this case with his, they kept calling it, like, paranoid. He was kind of paranoid. He was very kind of all over the place. And I was listening to him. He was really pissed off. He was off his rocker, man. He was really ticked off about this whole family thing. And as you guys have contested already, these can be very emotional cases, and they are emotional cases. This guy was really pissed off. He said something that was really irresponsible. The guy had to freaking turn him in. The lawyer had to turn him in my opinion.
Nope.
Okay.
All right. So
Dan,
here's the
case.
thing.
You guys go.
Here's the thing. Okay. There is no way on God's green earth that this is the worst that this attorney has ever heard.
Yes.
If he's practiced family law for 5 friggin' minutes, he's heard worse. All right, I guarantee you somebody has walked in there and said, I want my husband and or wife dead. That's a lot more of a direct threat. And I guarantee you
guys are actually kind of convincing me.
I guarantee you.
Yeah. Now I'm getting.
He has heard far worse than this. But for some reason, he decided that this guy was the threat. I don't buy it for a moment. Because again, these are so it's so sad. You've got a husband and a wife or whatever, and they're saying their vows and I do, and we're going to be in love forever. And then 6 years later, this. And it's always bloody. It's always messy. It's some of the, I'll be honest, going through it myself many, many years ago now, it's some of the most horrible years and time of my life.
Yes.
And it wasn't even, in the grand scheme of things, compared to so much else that we see, it wasn't even that bad, but it still sucked. And this guy, this is Bush League. This is like kindergarten playground kind of stuff.
It is.
I guarantee it. And to make an argument, quite honestly, no disrespect, but to make an argument that he did the right thing by reporting this guy off of mights and maybes, no. Because that's all that's left here is mights and maybes. This guy might have meant harm. This maybe will happen.
Yeah.
You know, how is it that this lawyer who deals in fact makes this argument and somehow thinks it should stick? And quite honestly, how in the world does Judge Boyd look at this argument and think that it sticks? I just, that's where I'm at with it.
Especially because
he's heard so much.
Judge Boyd has been a defense attorney. She's definitely heard a lot there. She's been a prosecutor. She's been around the block. I mean, that was weird too. I think all the way around, this case is just, it's strange. And I can tell you, husbands and wives have said all sorts of crazy things in hearings, in communication between each other, between lawyers. And I mean, very rarely is anything ever done sanctions. I mean, without getting into specifics, but I mean, I can tell you there's crazy stuff that's said in these things. So I don't know. It just doesn't smell. It doesn't pass the smell test for me.
Y'all have a really good point about that. They said they probably heard worse, because if that was the case, then there'll be more cases like this. But this is,
Oh, okay.
Listen to the old guys on this one. He has definitely heard worse.
So I don't know. The smell test, we can call it a smell test. It's not a smell test. It's an exception. There's an exception to privilege. I can't go into my therapist's office and threaten that there's going to be dead bodies.
Yeah.
There's going to be dead bodies everywhere. I lose that privilege. I can't.
How is it a threat?
I'm
sorry. How is it a threat?
It's not
he
specific.
Did not say, I'm going to create dead bodies.
There's dead bodies everywhere randomly then?
Okay. Can you cue up the tape?
I mean, it could happen.
I don't know if you have the tape ready.
I don't have it ready,
okay,
but we could.
So anyway, but
I know what here's what I can do. I think I've got the I'll find it. I've got the transcript.
Instant replay.
I can't do that. And so it's not a smell test. It's an exception. There's an exception to the privilege. I don't make up the rules.
We're not even really arguing about privilege per se.
Yeah.
This isn't so much about, did he violate privilege? I mean, it's a little bit about that, but it's more about the law. It's more about, to me, it's gotta be if you're going to talk about putting someone in jail or prison for a terroristic threat, I mean, you've got to make sure that it is an actual terroristic threat and not saying die ass die or something. You know, it's got to be something like, it can't just be, there's going to be dead bodies everywhere. Because I'll tell you, because you talked about a therapist. I mean, as someone that was, many, many years ago, long time ago, much younger Michael Groff was in counseling.
Much younger, with a smaller voice. Did you have the same radio voice, by the way?
A little. It was a little different, but it was pretty much the same. So I was in counseling for a little while. I had some depression, nothing like, I wasn't on any pills or anything like that.
But I seen the same therapist. Yeah.
Anyway. It's possible, but anyway, and I certainly said some things that, I wouldn't say they were crazy things. I wasn't saying I'm going to harm myself or anything, because they always ask you that.
Right.
But I know I said some things that probably, if somebody else heard them, people would go, man, that sounds nuts. So would I be turned in for that? I mean, I didn't threaten to kill anybody. I didn't say anything about there'd be dead bodies everywhere, but I some stuff I talked about was dark. You know, I don't know. All of this kind of puts into my head, like, unless it's something real specific, and they'd even say, hey, look, you can talk about dark things and just don't. But if you say you're going to hurt yourself specifically, not just, oh, I wish I was dead, but if you say, I'm going to go home and hang myself or whatever, they will then, call up, they'll send over the people in the white lab coats and all that. So, that's my point is it has to be very specific. It has to be very A to B to C. It can't just be maybes and ifs and buts.
Mights and maybes.
Yeah. If ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no room for kettles.
Exactly. So I have it pulled up in the transcript. He said something's going to happen that's going to change history, whether you bust these guys or there's dead bodies everywhere, bro.
Right.
And I think it's also worth noting that at several points in the transcript, the lawyer, as this guy is talking about how he's been quote unquote screwed throughout this whole civil process, the lawyer has said, yeah, you have been.
Yeah,
So
he uses a different word. Yeah,
but they're having this friendly conversation where the lawyer's agreeing with him. So I can very easily see how he's looking at it, going, "Okay, I can open up, I can vent."
No.
And
whether you bust these guys or there's dead bodies everywhere, bro. Like that's not.
I think he was playing to him. I don't think he was being buddy. I think he was perhaps feeling threatened and then trying to play along so he doesn't get aggressive is what I'm thinking in my head.
Well, then
exactly.
I revert back to the question, why this time? I guarantee you this guy has heard worse.
That's
he
why
heard
I
worse
started this whole
that day.
conversation.
That's where I'm sticking.
In law school, he heard worse.
Yeah.
I mean, but he did record it. He's got the best friggin' evidence ever. He has the recording of this alleged terrorist.
It's the best evidence, but not to a guy like me sitting on the jury. It's not enough. I mean, that's the thing. If I'm on that jury, if Dan's on that jury, forget it. It's not guilty.
Unless something more came up, I would not budge.
Right. Exactly. If he's got some manifesto someplace, if he's got some, well, I mean, we've seen crazier stuff before. But just based on that, and that's so many of these cases, right? Sometimes context matters. I think that's the takeaway from all of this that we're talking about here tonight is that context really matters, and to me, the context isn't there.
No. Well, we've kind of lost our ability to even understand context in so many ways.
Well, nuance is a dead art. I mean, and this is a broader conversation, but whether we're talking politics or sports, I mean, I can't tell you how many crazy conversations just about sports and who's the best player. You watch the LeBron James versus Michael Jordan debate and people just go nuts, and then someone just says, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is better than both of them. So, that pretty much ends the discussion. But anyway, I mean, that's how it is. Nuance is just out the window anymore. People are just one side or the other. And to me, this is kind of a one side or the other, because to me, it's context. You have to have these basic elements to make a threat, to make it stick. And they're just not all there. Dan said it best. It's, 9 steps on a 10-step journey.
Yep.
No doubt dude is angry, by the way. No doubt he's pissed off. It's family court. Of course he is. No doubt he says stuff that to some might sound crazy, but we still have a First Amendment, and you can still be saying crazy stuff in today's world-ish, kinda, sorta.
You're supposed to be able to.
Allegedly.
I'm glad you said that, Michael, because the state was saying that the First Amendment does not protect against such statements. That's what he said. So that's the state takes that differently. according to the state's argument.
Well, of course, the state's going to take it that way. I guess it. I am dying to see this go. I will be glued to Judge Boyd's court when this goes to trial.
Look. I was with you guys.
If it's in Judge
I'm
Boyd's
always
court.
on the defense's side. Like I'm always leaning on the state's got to bring the case. They have the burden. You guys know I'm a defense guy. Here we're having an episode where I'm on the state side. I think they got a great case.
This is first time for everything, Bailey. First time for everything.
So the defense brought up an argument in there right at the end. Look, there's a Supreme Court hearing there was a conscientious objector that
It was Garcia versus State, I believe, Bailey.
And made a threat and said, I would kill the president if I ever get frickin' sent overseas. And the Supreme Court found that is not a basically clear and present danger. Basically, they took your guys' argument. And so I always lean with the law. However, in this particular case, I think it needs to go to a jury. The jury's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Let them have
and that,
fun
by
with
the
this.
way, that you just referenced, Bailey, that is a much more specific threat than this.
Yes.
That is that. I mean, you're naming the person. You're saying you're going to do it if this certain condition happens. That's more specific.
Yeah.
Now, is it enough in my head if I heard that I would consider that a threat and I would find someone guilty?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'd have to hear the more context. I'd have to get a little bit more information, but I would at least weigh that more than this.
By the way,
if you don't bust these guys, there's going to be dead bodies, bro. Is like, come on.
I have to. I mean, I applaud the defense attorney, but man, that state was so good about his objections the whole time.
Yes.
He was just on it. And I laughed at one of them, and it's kind of like the objection he was making was kind of like if I corrected one of you on your grammar.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, it's a legal objection, yes, but the defense was into, like, I think his second freaking question, and he was like, you didn't tell my client that you were recording him. Objection, leading, because he said you didn't, as if you needed to. So I heard this as I'm kind of getting my stuff together. I'm like in the kitchen and I'm listening to this, and I heard the objection and I was like, "Yep, that's leading." And so then the attorney had to say, "Did you record your client?" And I just busted out laughing, and I was like, "Only probably 2 people in the universe would laugh at that, and one of them has to be an attorney, and I'm not one of them." I'm not an attorney, but I laughed at that because he had to correct the record from, you didn't tell my client you were recording him, did you? Objection, speculation. Did you record my client? Yes. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I love law. I don't know why I love that, but I love that moment.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So, as we promised, we never solve things here, but we did talk it out well. But I had something that just came to mind that I think would be a good place to wrap this up. He knows now that he's going to trial. His motions to get the evidence thrown out and everything are gone. He's going to sit in jail until it's time because his motion to get the bond reduced was denied. So this is going to happen.
His freedom is
For 2
gone.
months.
Yeah,
For 2 months about. Yeah.
Do you think this guy has a better shot in front of a jury or just in front of Judge Boyd with a bench trial?
Oh,
Jury.
Ooh.
jury.
I'll say jury too.
I would tend to agree based on how Judge Boyd has ruled.
Yes.
If Judge Boyd had what I believe is a proper reading on things, I would choose a bench trial, but she's tipped her hand already.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's a fair
that's
jurist,
how I felt.
but I would take a jury over her. My odds would be better with
And
her.
I have watched her conduct bench trials, and I have certainly watched her find someone not guilty in bench trials. So it's not that I think she's unfair,
Right.
but it does sound like she's very much leaning in a way on this, just based on how she's handled this. Now, I could be wrong, but Yeah, I'd say jury. Plus, besides, most of the time, it's just so much harder to convince 12 people of someone's guilt than it is just one. So it's always advantageous.
Yeah, all you need is one Dan or Michael.
Yep.
If you got 12 Baileys, you're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah. If you get 12 Baileys, 12 Ashleys, that's it. You're done. Bye. See you in prison.
Yeah. That's
all right. So I hope you guys feel good about yourselves, Ashley and Bailey. Sent a man off.
This was a good sidebar. Thank you.
Yeah.
No further questions, Judge.
This was fun today.
This was great.
All right. Anybody got anything else to say before we head on out?
Love to friends and family who are watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone who's watching. This is fun. Look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday.
Ashley, anything?
Thanks for everyone that's watching, and we enjoy everybody that's here, and we'll see what next time brings.
You never know. Michael?
I just want to thank Freya for helping out and trying to knock over everything and disconnect things during the live broadcast. Really do appreciate that. Stepping up for Ellie, who is not around tonight.
Our job.
She is passed out, or I would grab her. But I don't.
She's behind the monitors right now. Freya is. She's over there.
So be sure to check out Michael Groff down there. He does his own thing on YouTube, and he does it quite well, and it's linked in this video's description. So
yeah, this guy.
Check him out. Subscribe to him. You're pointing the wrong way. Point the other way.
Wait, is it mirrored? In
You're
my
mirrored.
screen, it's mirrored. Okay, so Michael, this guy, like him.
There you go. No,
point
other
there.
way.
Point there.
They're all cool. Everyone's cool.
All right. We'll be live again on this channel tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, a half an hour early for channel members. This has been fun. I think we'll do it again on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. In the meantime, go enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. God bless.
Thank you, guys.
I know.
Take care.